Week 2 of the college football season could be very interesting for the Auburn Tigers. Auburn will be either coming off an exhilarating win over the Oregon Ducks or a disappointing loss. Either way, Auburn does not have much time to lick their chops because Week 2 provides an interesting challenge. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports, mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. I want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle, and big shout out to all the groups on Facebook that provide Auburn content. Now, here's the situation. Week 2 of the college football season is going to be very interesting for the SEC. A lot of Power 5 non-conference matchups, including LSU and Texas, West Virginia and Missouri, Clemson and Texas A&M, Vandy and Purdue, and Arkansas is going to be taking on Ole Miss in an early conference ball game. Also, you look at Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and Auburn will have non-Power 5 non-Power 5 type teams that they're going to be playing in Week 2. Now, very interesting matchup for the Auburn Tigers will be their old rival, Tulane. Tulane actually is a charter member of the SEC. They actually left the SEC around the 1950s. But before that, Auburn had a very, very good rivalry. As a matter of fact, they played in a lot of neutral site locations. They played in Montgomery, they played in New Orleans, and they played in Mobile. This was a game played annually, which stopped. Now, oddly enough, a lot of you guys may not know, Tulane actually leads the series between them and Auburn at 17-14-1. Now, the last time Auburn played Tulane was back in 2006, where Auburn won that football game. Now, one of the things that's going to make this interesting is Tulane has started to become a little bit accustomed to winning football games. They were 7-6 last year. They actually beat Kenny Dillingham's old team, Memphis, 40-24. They pushed Power 5 Wake Forest into overtime in the first game of the season, only to lose that game. And then they won their bowl game this year. So Tulane is developing a culture of winning football games. They play very well on defense. They're not spectacular, but they're at least sound on defense, and they could pose a challenge to the Auburn Tigers, especially when you look at how this scheduling for the SEC is set up in Week 2. There's a very good chance that Tulane could actually catch Auburn off guard with a 12 o'clock a.m. football game. And we all know Auburn's history with those types of games. If you think about, Auburn playing against Jacksonville a couple of years ago, almost losing that game, struggling with Mercer and struggling with Southern Miss, this could be an interesting football game for the Auburn Tigers. And even more interestingly so, is the personnel that Tulane has on offense. Now, Tulane welcomes back Darnell Mooney, who is a very, very good receiver. He's not particularly tall, but he's very active in the spread attack that Tulane likes to run. Oddly enough, this kid is from Gadsden, Alabama. Had 48 receptions last year for 993 yards and 8 touchdowns. The big stat for this kid is he averages 20.7 yards per reception when he catches the football. Now, a guy that I'm very, very impressed with from this Tulane football team is Justin Mcmillian. Justin Mcmillian is a 6'3", 210-pound senior, and hey, he's a transfer from LSU. So if LSU went after him, the kid is talented. When you look at him on film, he's very active in the pocket. He knows how to kind of maneuver around the pocket. He makes very good throws. Also, what I like about this guy is he can run the football. So he's going to be a huge challenge for the Auburn Tigers and their defense in staying focused and staying balanced, because a team like this that's as active as Tulane is can really catch a team napping, especially on one of those 12 o'clock games. So what do I expect from Auburn in a particular game like this? Well, hopefully Auburn will be coming off a win against Oregon. This will be a huge momentum builder for the Auburn Tigers, taking on a pretty decent non-Power 5 football team. One thing that's going to be key is that the defense is going to have to be very focused and very active. And I think that won't be a problem because Auburn returns Derek Brown as the defensive lineman who, could have gone pro, but he decided to come back. So there's a lot of leadership on this defense. A lot of these guys have played in high consequence games, like Jeremiah Denson, as well. Marlon Davidson is coming back, so that's going to be very huge for the Auburn Tigers, especially playing in a game like this. Excuse me, playing in a game like this right after an emotional ball game against Oregon. Now we're going to look for this game and see how this thing progresses, but Auburn really is going to have to be focused in a game like this, especially having a new starting quarterback. This will be a very good game for them against a kind of a, not necessarily an elite defense, but a very active defense to start to get comfortable at the quarterback position. Auburn has one more game against Kent State, and then the SEC play starts, and it's going to be these two games, Tulane and Kent, is going to go Kent State is going to go a long way in solidifying that quarterback position, getting them comfortable as Auburn approaches the rigors of the SEC. Once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports, mostly talking about Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Shout out to my fearless and true gang, War Eagle. Also, subscribe to the channel, like and comment whatever you would like to hear about next. War Eagle.